Alright, what's going on, guys? T Torres back here for another video. This is the very first video for 2021. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a happy New Year's. So as many as you all know, I am currently working on a 7.3 van ambulance with my buddy Samuel. We've had some time off from work, and unfortunately I haven't been here for the entire teardown of everything he's done. So I'm going to let Samuel go over what he's got done so far. As you can see, the actual turbo is now missing. We got some new up pipes. We got an EGT Pro. He's installed a tuner, done the CTS3, but I'm going to save that all for him. But yeah, this is the second video that we've made. The goal is Samuel and I are going to be turning this ambulance into a camper build, so him and his wife can take this on different camping adventures. So one of the main focus that Samuel has right now is just longevity and some performance mods. So we'll head into the garage, and Samuel's going to show you the turbo. It's now off, and then some of the goodies that he's done since the last video. Okay, so as you can see here is the factory turbo off the 7.3 that Samuel has already pulled off, along with some other stuff that Samuel's going to go over with that he's done thus far.
Alright, y'all, so I took apart the turbo on the 7.3. It's the GP38 from Garrett, the stock one. And the vans, for most people, don't know that it's a non-wastegated turbo, which means my exhaust housing is different. So that was the issue I ran into. Nobody was supplying the correct exhaust housing, or they didn't update me that it was a wastegated versus a non-wastegated, and that made a huge difference for me, having to figure all that out. But anyways, we changed the compressor wheel. This is the stock one. It was taken out, and all the bearings. And if you look down inside, you can see the new one is a 5.5. So it just changes the geometry of it. So hopefully there's no like turbo surge or any surge past the turbo, or however you want to say it. And then we also changed the exhaust flange. So instead of having the flapped one, which is it closes off to increase the back pressure so it can heat up quicker. I don't need that. I'm in Florida, not necessarily. So the other difference was this: because it's a non-wastegated, I had to buy the non-wastegated housing, which nobody in any of the forums explained really, and it was kind of hard to figure out. But once I figured it out, I had to reorder the part because I got the wrong one. New exhaust housing, that went on as well. Then we have the new pedestal, so the turbo goes on top of the pedestal. And that also got rid of the little actuator that was for the exhaust, the EBPV or whatever, exhaust back pressure valve, delete. So it got rid of that. And all that's ready to go in. The only reason I haven't installed it yet is I still need to clean off the top of the engine with all the oil residue that was left over from the CCV, crankcase vent. So it's still really dirty. And then I'm still waiting on intake from AFE. This is the torque booster. So this is going to go on to the turbo on the intake side. Then I still have to do the crankcase vent adapter, goes on this side, and then wait for my new intake to come in. That's next, before the engine is basically bolted back up together. And then I also did a fuel pressure spring update. So I put in a stiffer spring. That's not here, it's already in the ambulance. But I took that out and put the blue spring mod in. That's what it's called if you look it up, blue spring mod. It's a stiffer spring that goes right outside where the fuel filter gets changed out, and it should increase the fuel pressure going in so you have more consistent fuel pressure.
Alright, so now Samuel just went over basically some of the turbo components, and now we're actually going into the cab on where the turbo is moved. And as you can see, we got some new parts here that Samuel's going to go over.
Alright, so the doghouse is obviously removed, turbo was taken out. That pedestal, the delete, goes right here, so I'm going to put the new pedestal right back on top. But there's all kinds of oil pulled up on top because the crankcase vent kind of leaked everywhere. So I'm going to clean that up. Got some degreaser. We're going to scrub the top of the engine before I bolt it all back together. I also got these stainless up pipes that have been changed out. They're the exhaust up pipes. And then we got our new splitter. So this will go back on, and that bolts to the turbo. It's for the exhaust side coming into the turbo. And that's basically it for in here. And then we also did some performance upgrades, so we installed a chip, and I'll explain that here in a minute. Alright guys, so the other thing that there's not a lot of videos on for the vans, the E450s, 350s, Econoline, whatever, all the diesels, is the location of everything is just a little bit different than in the trucks. So with the van, my computer is actually right next to the engine instead of in the fender well where everybody else's is. So I had to figure out, one, that's it. Two, it actually plugged in kind of the opposite way, so it wasn't flipped over. And then to access it, I had to go into the cab, and we'll show you that inside the cab. In the trucks, most of them all have it under the emergency brake, and it's all back here on the wall. In the van, which is what I have, nobody shows this, it's all behind the gas pedal. So I had to take my gas pedal out, which was 3 bolts, really easy. And then that gave me access to the back or the slot that the computer goes into. So I was able to unbolt it that way and get my chip in. And what we did was the PHP Hydro Performance chip, and use their stock tunes, because I don't have any big performance upgrades. Though I rebuilt the turbo and I'm doing all this other stuff, I'm not doing anything that will give me any more power necessarily, other than it's basically all stock updates to make it more reliable. I'm not getting a lot more power out of it.
Show them that. All right, so as you can see right here is the actual chip itself, and I imagine once it's lit up, it'll let you select kind of like on the fly, like a DSP-5 like I have for the Duramax. And I think, what we get, up to 140?
140, but I'll need to do some transmission upgrades if I want to run that one.
Yeah.
Because it can't handle it.
So that was pretty cool. I wish I could have been here for that install. And then as you can see, Samuel's got the new CTS3 monitor. Love that it's edge to edge. We also are going to be doing, in a future video, we're going to be doing the EGT probe. And of course, this video is just to catch you guys up on where we are now, because, you know, Samuel and I had a different time off of work and it just didn't line up with vacation and stuff. So we're going to be throwing the turbo back in, getting everything bolted back up, do the EGT probe. What else do we have to do?
Oh, and then I also have a starter that I'm going to upgrade. And then
Yep, that's correct. We got a starter.
And then an alternator coming
alternator
in. So I'm gonna go from a dual
and
alternator
intake.
to a single. And then
Yeah, so let's go look at the alternator. I was unaware that this thing has dual alternators.
Yep, so up top we have the normal standard alternator, which hooks up to your regular pulley drive. So if you look right here on the front, it gives you your normal pulley for your serpentine belt. And then to do the delete, I have my second alternator, which is attached to another belt. So I'm just gonna have to take that off, and the idler, or the tensioner, I'm gonna have to take that off, and then change out the probe, because the computer doesn't know which one to pick. It just randomly selects which alternator to use. It doesn't use them both at the same time. So I'm gonna have to figure that out and make sure that it's selecting the single, because I'm getting rid of the extra one. I don't need it. All right, I was explaining earlier that we also did the blue spring update. So here's where my fuel filter is. In most cases, you would have to take off your intake, which is all sitting right here covering all this up. So you would not have access to this with the intake being in the way. So my intake's not installed at the moment, so I have access to where the fuel filter goes, which is right here. And then coming into the side, I have my fuel line coming in. You take that off, and then you have this housing, and I changed mine out with the black billet housing that was CNC'd or whatever, the one that comes with the blue spring kit. And then the spring is in there, and it has new seals as well. So hopefully it's sealed up, and I get more fuel pressure coming in.
Okay, so that was just a quick little video that I wanted to get out for you all. And then, like I said, it's the first video of 2021. The next video that that Sam and I are going to be doing on the ambulance build is going to be doing the turbo, you know, putting the pedestal in, doing the turbo. I don't know if we're going to do the EGT probe along with it. Then, of course, you know, we went over, we still got to do the intake, the alternator, stuff like that. And yeah, if you guys are stopping to the channel for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. Leave this video a big thumbs up. And yeah, we got some exciting videos coming for the 2021. I'm gonna try to do a lot more things, and I'm working on something at the moment that is gonna be pretty cool for you all to get, in order to, you know, help give back to the channel. I'm working on some merch and stuff like that. So once again, thank you all so much for stopping in, and catch you all in the next video. Peace.